Gautam Gambhir. That is one name everyone is talking about today. He's been in the news because he was interviewed by the Cricket Advisory Committee today for the role of India's head coach. Talking about Gambhir, I have with me a guy who loves Gambhir. So let's first hear from him what he makes of Gambhir as the next Indian head coach. Love, what do you think?
Siddhant, first of all, personally, there can't be a happier guy than me. Just because of Gambhir's appointment, if everything goes off well and if this comes off, Gambhir being Team India's head coach, no better news than that, right? On a personal front, I have been a huge Gambhir admirer and always wanted this Indian team to be coached by Gautam Gambhir.
KKR fan, guys. If you're wondering where that admiration is coming from,
No, even
KKR
before
fan.
that,
Even before that.
even before that, I always loved his attitude. I think if he is appointed as the head coach, he will bring in that ruthlessness, which this team actually needs. After Ravi Shastri left, I think Team India actually lacked that, and Gambhir can be the perfect replacement for Rahul Dravid as well.
So you think Rahul Dravid is not ruthless at all?
He,
You said ruthlessness after
exactly.
Ravi Shastri. So
True.
Rahul Dravid is
Rahul Dravid, come on, you don't associate Rahul Dravid and you can't take those names.
aggression,
Right?
perhaps. You're talking
Aggression,
about.
ruthlessness, you can't use those two words in the same sentence as Rahul Dravid. No one can. Rahul Dravid, yes, he's the gentleman of the game. He has been one of India's biggest servants. But then this day and age, when you have all those ruthless teams playing T20 cricket, I think Rahul Dravid just doesn't fit in that much as someone like a Gautam Gambhir would. So I'm happy.
I always remember Dravid's 3 sixes in his only T20.
And then announcing his retirement soon after
and
that.
then retiring from the format, that tour of England. Anyway,
Yeah.
we will not, move away from the conversation. We'll talk about Gambhir. So Gambhir, first of all, let's talk about him, as a player, what he has done for India. A
Yeah.
lot of people, focused on other guys, but he has played some really important innings in big matches. The 75 against Pakistan, you remember T20 World Cup 2007. Then you look at the 97 in the ODI World Cup final. I think that guy is all about fight.
He's all
is
about
not,
fight
Not
and-
gonna back out of a challenge. He relishes the challenge. That is-
Absolutely. And just talking about fight, one knock which actually comes to my mind apart from those
New Zealand?
New Zealand. I think Napier it was.
Yes.
That,
I don't remember Napier, Christian, wherever it was.
I think it
but
was Napier, but
that one
what
knock.
a knock! What a knock! I think he smashed a double hundred.
I see those details. I think he smashed a double hundred, but he saved the game for
He
India.
saved the game for India.
That was the most important aspect from Gautam Gambhir. He has, battled difficult situations and come out on top more often than not.
And not just as a player, Siddhant, let me tell you that as a captain as well, he has captained India in 6 ODIs and we haven't lost any one of those.
As a captain, the guy has won 2 IPL titles for KKR.
As a captain, yes.
As a captain.
And as a mentor, one.
As a man, I was coming to that. As a mentor, also, he won this year. But you look at what he has done, okay? As a player, he was successful, was one of your match winners, even though probably he never got the credit he deserved. Apart from that, as a coach, now we will talk about that because we haven't seen him in that capacity. Mentoring, coaching, probably on similar lines. But as a mentor, by the way, KKR, this is his third year as an IPL team mentor. Before this, he was with the Lucknow Super Giants for 2 years. And for those 2 years also, that team did well. Both times they qualified for the playoffs. The year that Gautam Gambhir left, the year he was not there, he LSG could not qualify for the playoffs. And then what happened to KKR, the team that he went to? They won the title. So brief point, you think what he does, what he brings to the team.
Siddhanta, first of all, when you look at KKR under mentor Gautam Gambhir, it never seemed like he was the mentor. It always seemed like he was the coach. That's his aura. And talking about LSG, one of those 2 years I was with
Wait,
LSG.
let me tell the guys and the girls if they are listening. So, not many of you know who are watching us. Love was the guy who started inside LSG. The first season, the COVID season when LSG were there, Love was part of
2
that
years
bubble,
back.
was shooting everything, working closely with all the players, the coaching staff. So he'll tell us a bit about what he saw at that time with Gautam Gambhir.
So when I got to know that actually Gautam Gambhir is on board with LSG, I was so looking forward to meet him. And when I think he joined the team after a couple of games, and the moment he walked in, everything changed inside the bubble. I still remember those speeches by Gautam Gambhir. I still remember one of those instances. I think it was Pune, where Lucknow Super Giants lost a very one-sided game, and Gambhir was livid. I'll tell you a couple of details, if not all of that. So I happened to be in that dressing room after the match got over, and Gambhir was waiting for the players to just walk inside. And I'm not going to say that he bashed everyone. I'm not going to say that you hear that all sort of things, right? From the outside that he was said this, another player was said that, but no. The motivation that he had in that speech, that was a good 45-minute speech, and I happened to record that as well. And we put out something related to that the other day as well, and it went viral. I remember the next day, the players came to me and said, "You recorded it. Can we please get that? We want to hear that again."
Again.
Why they wanted to hear that again? They told me that it was so motivating. And trust me, after that, LSG won 3 or 4 games on the bounce. So that's what he does to the team. He is a man who doesn't like failures. He clearly said in that speech that we don't deserve to win because we didn't play to win. He doesn't like returning to a dressing room with a loss. He always wants to win, and he wants to put that culture across as well to the players, and everyone responds to him because he speaks out in that manner. It feels like chakde wali speech chal rahi ho. He actually speaks that well.
Now he plays for Shahrukh's team. Like, not plays, mentor for Shahrukh's
Mentor
team.
for sure. So we never thought of him as a guy who is just a mentor. He was the coach. Trust me, he was. Everyone had that in their heads. During practice sessions as well, he used to just stand behind nets, watch every player so closely, and talk to him about what can be done, what he should avoid. Even the coaches sometimes used to go and sit at the back, but never Gambhir. So I respect him for that. I respect him for who he is. Huge respect for him for just doing his job rightly. I think even if the BCCI hadn't offered him any money to take up this role and just would have told him that India needs you, can you coach us for 3 long years, he would have said yes. Because that's the guy Gautam Gambhir is, and I think Team India really needs that instinct.
He actually said it. He was in the Middle East, in UAE, for an event where he said that he would love to coach Team India. Right. By the way, amidst all that, I realized I forgot to switch on my mic. I just did. Hopefully, you got my voice before that. But love, talking about Gambhir, I just don't think it's the pep talks. It's also what he tries to bring from other players. Like
Right.
you see what happened with Sunil Narayan. You see what happened with Nitish Rana. Nitish Rana spoke, so like gave a glowing review of Gambhir, after that IPL final. Said that the message he sent and the response he got, that we're going to do this. That's the kind of motivation players are also looking at. Imagine this guy, even before the IPL started, like 2 months before the IPL started, called up Sunil Narayan and told him, "Ki boss, you are opening the innings. I don't know what you do. You practice accordingly. You are going to be opening the innings for KKR." And that was a master stroke.
Absolutely.
Sunil Narayan, the runs he scored, for a couple of seasons, he had opened in the past also, but for a couple of seasons, we realized that, okay, Narayan probably not great at the top, and that's why they moved him down the order. But there comes a guy, and then he tells you, "Boss, let's change this. Let's see how it works," and it works so
It clicks
well.
off. It clicked.
It clicked so well. I think Gambhir deserves a lot of credit for that. I think playing with the kind of players he had, he also, gave chances to youngsters, be it Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora. I think those things you sort of overlook at times, but you need a coach like that. Rahul Dravid is also, I guess, similar in a way that he also used to like to give younger players a chance. Used to, but yeah.
But Siddhant, just talking about the fact that yes, Gambhir has said that in the past that winning an IPL title is way more harder than probably winning a World Cup these days. But then, do you actually think that coaching an IPL side and or probably mentoring an IPL side and coaching an Indian side are more or less the same, or there's a difference?
No, I think, see, there are fan bases for franchisees.
Right.
They love their teams. But when it comes to Team India, the world is like the Indian contingent, Indian
Right.
fans, everybody is together. Everybody is rooting for the men in blue. You see that with franchise, yeah. Like a CSK fan would say he doesn't care about KKR. A RCB fan will say, don't worry, we don't want to see anybody like that coming to CSK or KKR for that matter. Those clubs will have the rivalry divides you, right? As Indians, it will always divide you. You support KKR, I don't support them, but at the end of the day, for Team India, whoever the coach is, I would want them to win the cup for us, win us, bring us the laurels, win us a lot of those tournaments that have been getting close to reaching the knockouts, but not taking that final lead and
That's where you need Gambhir.
lifting the cup. I think that is where I feel Gambhir, that fight, that aggression in him, I think that was where it will help Team India, because this guy forgets about individuals.
Right.
For him, the collective glory is important. For him, the team is important, and he has said that before.
Absolutely.
He doesn't care about individual reputations. He doesn't care about how people are superstars individually. He said at the end of the day, your team needs to win. That is what he's most.
I suddenly remember
Working
one
on.
instance
Yeah.
after the IPL auction happened for KKR, and Mitchell Stark, he went for 25 crore, right?
Yeah.
And he was asked that spending that big an amount on one player, do you think that's a good call? And you know what Gambhir told that reporter? He said that there's a collective bag of 90 crores, and every team at the end of the day would have to spend that, right? So if I spend that amount on 10 players or 5 players, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have spent 90 crores. So that actually tells you how big a team player he is. He never thinks about individuals. He's always thinking about the collective thing.
Also, at the same time, he supports the individuals. Mitchell Stark was criticized so much. You saw that, right? How many people talked about his price and the money KKR spent on him, and how they were not getting any reward, because see, 25 crores if you're spending on one player, you want them to perform for you. And Mitchell Stark did not do that in the initial stages of the tournament.
Right.
But yes, he still had the backing every time he was fit. The only time he did not play for KKR was when he had a nickel.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he played every game, because that's the kind of trust and faith KKR and Gautam Gambhir, individually had that faith in him. And what did he do?
The way he
What did he do?
responded.
Boss, player of the match in qualifier, one player of the match in the final. I think that's worth more than 100 crores, like their entire money, the auction bag, the auction pool, whatever. He won you the title, because that business end is where you need these players to step up mostly, because that's what defines them.
Right.
And Stark, the player he is, amazing. It turned out so well for them.
Right. And Siddhant, just moving forward, I
Yeah.
was having this question in my mind. We have seen some amazing partnerships in the past. May it be Ganguly and the coach at that time. May it be MS Dhoni.
John Wright.
John
Ganguly,
Wright.
John
Absolutely,
Wright.
Ganguly, John Wright.
We can't talk about Ganguly Greg Chappell, because it became Dravid Greg Chappell, and then
Let it
it
be.
became Greg
Let it
Chappell
be.
out.
Let's not talk
Yeah.
about Greg Chappell.
Yeah.
May it be Gary Kirsten or MS Dhoni, may it be Virat Kohli or Ravi Shastri. Now Gautam Gambhir. First, I'll tell you what I feel about the whole
Captain-
situation. That's the thing. That's what I feel. I think he's going to make some big changes as soon as he steps into that role. And we know that for a fact, we might not see Rohit Sharma leading this Indian side after a while, because especially in T20 cricket, right?
Age is a huge factor, boss.
Absolutely. And just about that partnership thing with the captain, I think, according to me, the best possible guy along with Gautam Gambhir can be Rishabh Pant. What do you say about that?
Interesting. See, Rishabh has been a decent captain. I would say, not in terms
If not
of.
him, then who?
If not him, then who? Then a lot of people say Hardik
If
Pandya.
you're Gambhir, what would you be thinking?
I actually don't know how Gambhir thinks. You can't put yourself in the shoes of Gautam Gambhir, because see, that guy is a serial winner, and certain times when other people were losing, he was still winning.
Right.
So I'm not sure what I can, what is Gautam Gambhir thinking? I cannot even comprehend that because that guy is somewhere. It's like I'll have to go out of the screen. But yeah, talking about who could be the next captain, I think Rishabh Pant is definitely a choice because see, Rishabh Pant will be playing all three formats. If India is looking at one format, then maybe Hardik Pandya could be an option because see, let's face it, he's the vice captain of the side.
Right.
He deserves that first chance. Then there are others also. There's Jasprit Bumrah, there's Surya Kumar Yadav in T20s perhaps. Jasprit Bumrah also plays all three formats.
But we
Similarly,
also have to
Rishabh Pant.
keep in mind along
Along
with
with-
Gambhir.
Yes, I think that way. So I think Bumrah can also be a decent choice, but with Bumrah, fast bowlers don't play every game,
Right.
every series. And with Bumrah, I think they should actually not play him every series
True.
also. And Rishabh Pant, a batter that is why is more suitable, perhaps as a captain, and that's why you were saying correctly that maybe Rishabh Pant could be a good choice. Why did you think of Rishabh Pant? Why did you think?
I just feel that Gambhir and Rishabh Pant's partnership might work wonders for India.
Two lefties.
Apart from that, I think he's a youngster. I think Rishabh Pant actually follows his seniors pretty well.
I think we have been calling Rishabh Pant young for the young.
He still seems young,
For-
right?
for-
He
for-
still seems young. I think
for his
just by the
vanity
way he
almost.
plays, just by the way he plays
And
at that
By the way, he
flamboyant
lost
batting.
15 months in that period also because of that accident.
Yeah, but just that flamboyant Rishabh Pant we all know about, he can be a perfect partner with Gautam Gambhir. You see what I did there? Perfect partner.
So, like fire meets ice sort of a thing also can work.
I think fire meets fire.
That can be Virat Kohli meets Gautam Gambhir also. in the
Virat
dressing room.
Kohli is also, I mean,
No,
yes,
but definitely Virat
Not
Kohli
as
is
a
not going to be the
captain,
captain
right?
for
Exactly.
sure. But we'll come to that, the Virat Kohli Gambhir conversation. But see, I think Rishabh Pant as a player, yes, he's flamboyant. But as a guy, I think he's very cool-headed. He's like this, guy who's having a bit of fun,
Yeah.
living like life जैसे भी तैसे भी जी लेंगे कर लेंगे खेल लेंगे that sort of an attitude. I think Rishabh Pant is like that. I think Gambhir on the other hand is like, come on, we have to win this, we are going to win this sort of a guy.
He
So
is. But I think that combination will work. Somehow I
Could
just
be, could
feel
be.
that
Like-
this combination will work for
I
India.
just hope whatever combination BCI ends up making, I think with Gambhir, any combination can work if we allow him to work properly. Because let's face it, now the final point that I was trying to make, there are a lot of individual superstars in this side. When a coach comes with that sort of a tag where he's saying that no individual is big enough, I want my team to come first, I only care about the team. There could be a few ego clashes.
Absolutely.
And forget the Indian coach. They have had like Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir for that matter have had ego clashes on the field. Like when they were not even in the same team or like they were playing against each other in one game in like 1 year. So you never know how that transpires in the dressing room.
I understand what what point you're trying to make here, but then also the fact that I'll again give that MS Dhoni example where he actually sacked those three Indians, the senior Indian players, and everyone was against MS Dhoni.
Are you saying Virat Kohli should be sacked?
I'm not talking about Virat Kohli, but then if Gambhir makes some bold calls and he backs it up with titles, I think the initial, even if he receives some bashing in the beginning by fans, and if he backs it up with titles, I think everything will subside and Gambhir will go down in history as one of the best coaches India has ever had. So I think we have to give him that chance just by the reputation he has and just by the thing that he brings on the table, that urge to win. That he
I
wants
think
to
I
win
think
titles.
that is the decisive factor. I think everything else can be worked around, but a
Exactly.
guy who comes to the dressing room with a winning mentality, like one who's not settling for less, one who is not okay with you finishing as runners up, and I think Gambhir has that fire.
He has.
He has that fire.
Still burning
You look
bright.
at him and like you're like, come on, like you feel pumped up, right?
He's
When you
that
see
same-
Gautam Gambhir, you see like there's something you suddenly feel like, अरे यार कुछ तो जोश आया है, कुछ तो जोश आया है.
Right, and he's that same guy. Don't forget that when he went to when they were Delhi Daredevils after that KKR, after winning 2 titles with KKR, he went
He
back
dropped
to
himself.
Exactly. So he wants to win, and if that's not happening, and he feels that it's because of him, He actually dropped himself out of the playing 11 and he retired. He also gave the money back. Who does that? Only Gautam Gambhir can. And I'm telling you, if he's
ईमानदार
given
आदमी. You know, he was honest with himself. He was honest with the world. I think another guy who did this was Ricky Ponting. He dropped himself from the Mumbai Indians squad, gave Rohit Sharma the captaincy,
Right.
and said
But he didn't
was-
return the money.
Didn't return the money for sure. Gautam Gambhir that way, of course. See, a person can be different. Gautam Gambhir has that fire. I think you look at that Australian mindset, na. I think a lot of people don't focus on it. I think Gambhir has a little bit of that. He thinks like that.
Ruthlessness.
He thinks team first. Okay, he is up for a fight. He doesn't, shy away from getting back at someone if they mouthed something at you. I think it's like very Australian kind of attitude.
He's Yara guy, yaar.
He's-
Stands by you.
Stands by you, and I think like we saw, he stood by Naveen ul Haq
Right.
when that entire episode transpired during the LSG versus RCB game last year in 2023.
I mean, you cannot bully his players.
He-
No matter who you are, you cannot bully his players in front of him. He'll always stand by them. And I think if he's given a free hand and if he's made India coach, some amazing things are in store. And I'm actually looking forward to
Yeah, I
this.
think a lot of reports we both were looking at, some of them actually suggest that Gautam Gambhir has made a few demands.
A couple of them.
Couple of them, if you can shed some light on it.
Okay, so first demand that Gautam Gambhir has made is that he wants his support staff. Currently, India has got the support staff, but then he wants that if he comes on board, he'll have his own support
So
staff.
no Jaunty Rhodes as fielding coach there.
So one, yes, that he'll come on board with an entire team, which I think is also right.
It's fine. I think
That's right.
By the way, I'm not sure how many of you follow football, but in football, this is what happens. Most of the times, a manager goes, his management, the other assistant managers, and his support staff also goes away within. And similarly, when somebody new joins, they bring their own coaching staff.
And secondly, he actually wants different teams for different formats. That is a different white ball team and a different red ball team. And just looking at these two demands, I think he has already started planning. He already feels that he's the India coach. And if he is, these are the things that we need to do. And even when a guy has started to plan about a job he still isn't sure of getting,
Yeah.
that tells you volumes about him.
Yeah, I agree. I think it took him a little while, when the conversation was out there in the open that BC has approached him. Nothing was said from Gambhir's side for a brief 2-3 week period. Also, the IPL was going on. So a lot of people felt that maybe he was only focused on KKR and not going to say
No,
anything about it.
after the
But
IPL,
after
in
the
one of the
IPL
interviews,
No, that's what I'm saying. He went to the Middle East. He was asked that question in the Middle East at a promotional event, and that's where he said, "I would love to coach India."
he actually said there's no bigger honor than that.
And Gambhir is a man of, what he does. The guy runs those canteens, where you get food for ₹1. He's all for there's so much nationalism involved the moment Gautam Gambhir comes on board. Like, he's gonna ask the team to put the nation first. He's gonna tell them कि boss, देश से बढ़कर कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं, इस देश के लिए आप खेल रहे हो. Like, think about that flag, think about the pride, and think about who are you representing and what you are representing. And that's what Gambhir will bring to the
He is, and I suddenly remember one more example. I was interviewing him a few years back, and I think it was the anniversary of the 2007 World Cup win. And I talked to him about that win and his role in that win. So you know what he told me? To my question, he said that वो हो गया, वो 2007 की बात थी, अब ये सोचो अगला कैसे जीतना है, इसके बारे में बात करो.
Forget about the former glory,
That's what Gautam
focus
Gambhir
on the
is.
next glory.
Exactly. So I actually want this attitude in Indian team, that there's a guy who actually thinks about winning titles. All that I'm concerned about is India winning ICC trophies, and I think
And
at the moment
he'll get a good opportunity if he's hired
he
as
will.
coach.
And I think at the moment, if there's one guy who can actually make that dream into a reality, that's Gambhir. At least for me, and I think we should actually back him for a couple of years.
KKR fan also. But
KKR
yeah,
fan as
even
well,
though I'm
yes.
not a KKR fan, I think we need to see how it goes. You need to give a guy like Gambhir the chance and the opportunity, perhaps, to try his kind of thinking, the style, and the way he wants to, mold this team into a match-winning machine, into a tournament-winning machine. Because matches we win, tournaments we don't. and you see, he's going to get ample opportunity. Next year, the Champions Trophy is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you will have the T20 World Cup in India in 2026. Then 2027, the ODI World Cup will be there. And in the middle of all that, there'll be, I guess, 2 World Test Championship finals also till 2028. So I am guessing 5 opportunities for Gautam Gambhir to, win us an ICC title. But hopefully Rahul Dravid does it first any which way.
I was about to say that.
Rahul Dravid does
And let's
it
not
any
forget
which
that
way.
there's an Indian team who's actually playing the World Cup at the moment, and we all want Rahul Dravid to go out with the title.
The title, and whatever happens next, I think we know Dravid is not coming back.
Yeah.
So we want him to bow out with some trophy to his name, with some glory, which can be written in Indian cricket history. But Gambhir will be a great new chapter, I think. And let's see how it goes. We have given others opportunity in the past. We did not win any trophies with them. With Gambhir, I think Gambhir deserves a chance.
Yeah,
that's where I'll end it. Anything more for you to add?
I think that's about it.
That's about it. So we both, in a way, are Gambhir fans. We want to see how he goes.
We're actually Indian cricket fans.
Indian cricket fans, but who
there's
think
this
Gambhir
guy
will be a good choice?
who actually stands a good chance of bringing that glory days back to India. So that's why we are rooting for Gambhir.
Yes. And on that note, if you guys did like a conversation, and if you agree or disagree with the points we made, please let us know in the comments. As we always say, please like, share, subscribe, and send us some love. Thank you so much for watching.